Yes, yes, yes. What's going on, world? This is your man, Buddy Romig, and we are back at it, y'all, with another episode of the Yeah Buddy podcast. And if this is your first time tuning in, hey, thank y'all for checking it out, the podcast. And if you're a returning friend, man, hey, buckle up, man. We are in for another excited episode. You know how we do every episode. I always try to bring some of my friends in the entertainment business. We come through, chop it up, see what we got going on. And this episode is like no other, y'all. This episode, I got my good friend. We both come from Yuba City, California, but now we're making waves out here in the Sacramento film community. This dude, he's an official movie critic. He has his third annual film festival coming up that he's going to be telling y'all about this episode. And he's got a whole bunch of other things in the works that he has going on too. His TV show, a whole bunch of other stuff right now. But I want y'all to make it live and make it laugh. My good friend, Mr. Kier Stowe's in the building, y'all.
What's up? What's up?
Here in the building. Yes, sir.
For sure. What's show, man?
Yes, sir. Thank you for sliding through with shit like that, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Anytime, bro.
In here connected and stuff all like that.
Yeah.
So we had you when I was doing the Funny Business podcast, we had you come in and talk. I believe that was when you was doing like the first annual.
Yeah, that was our first year.
The first one.
Yeah, that was our very first festival. That's right. Yeah.
But now you're back at it for the third
it's
annual,
our
man.
third year, man. So just bigger, better, and just more films and just more people coming in, and it's just been great, man. Just the love from the community has been fantastic, man. So it's just the people have been rocking with us, and we're rocking with them, man. And it's just a beautiful thing, man. So.
And so, how did what are some of the things that you've learned from, like I said, doing the first film festival now to the third one, just for the schematics of just putting it all together?
Well, it's a lot of work, man. So, each year we try to get a little bit better and try to improve. So like every year we kind of look at like what worked and what didn't work. And so like the first year we learned really I need 2 days. And so that's when we added the second day. And then we kind of looked at this year, okay, well, we had a lot of features last year. So we kind of cut down the features so we could get more shorts, just so we could get more films. You know what I mean? And so those are just some of the kind of things that we learned, and then just the planning, the organization. I got more people on my team that are helping me out, so I don't have to put in the load. I used to have to watch all the films by myself.
Yeah.
Like the first year, it was just pretty much me and my wife watching all the films. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So I hired, so now I brought on some actual film critics to actually help watch the films and judge and score the films. And I just feel like it makes it more of a cohesive festival now.
Yeah.
And now I know that, no one can say, oh, it's just Kier picking, films and things of this nature. I'm like, no, I got 10 people that are actually watching these films and scoring them and helping me determine which films are going to make it in the festival.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure you can get some people who in their fields get a little butthurt and stuff like that.
Oh man,
if they don't win or something.
Yeah,
like
man, we've had people, man, that we reject films, and I'm usually very thorough. If you're on my email chain, I'm always, letting you know exactly what's going on every step of the way. And I'm the same way with people that, like, even if I don't select your film, I email, especially the local, I'll email you directly and say, hey man, your film didn't make it into the festival. Here's what some of the things that we liked about the film, and these are just some of the things that maybe you want to work on or improve upon. But don't fret. You can always submit again for next year. And, we've had a lot of people that didn't get in like the first year, and now they're in the festival this time. You know what I mean? But some people just took it negatively, and they're just like, well, I'm never submitting to your festival again because I didn't get in. I'm just like, that's kind of not the good attitude to have.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that I didn't get in my life, and I didn't go, oh, well, I'm done with that. I just like, you know what? I'm going to come back even harder the next year, and then I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, it's also just the wrong mentality to have that, like, with your film festival, just because, like, from going to your film festival, like, you have one of the most well produced film festivals in town.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, the thing about me is I'm a film critic first. So I really do care about the films, you know what I mean? And that's kind of like my passion. Anybody that follows me on my socials, you'll know that's all I do is post about films almost every single day. I'm constantly doing movie reviews. Everything I do is pretty much film related. So I'm really passionate about films. And so when I put something together, I want to do it right. And that's why we do it at the IMAX, because it's the best screen in town. I mean, there is no substitute for me. Everything I do, I put my heart and my passion into.
Dope. So when it comes to, say, swing over to like the film critic side, watching films and stuff all like that, how many films do you usually like have to watch for you to be like considered like, okay, now I'm an official film critic? Is there some sort of like
it's kind of hard to say. It's a couple different ways, because a like most organizations, they have an expectation you're going to watch at least about 150 to 200 films a year, that new films.
Yeah.
And so that's what I try to adhere to. I try to watch as many films as I can every single year, and I'm probably watching a new film, at least 2 a week probably.
Yeah.
And then when we get close to like Oscar season or award season, like in the fall, I get screeners, and so I'm just watching films like on a database, just to keep up. You know what I mean? So because a lot of the like I'm a film critic for the African American Film Critics Association, and they expect you to watch at least. They'll send you a list, and they expect you to have seen at least 75% of the films that are on that list in order to be considered for their award ceremony in order to vote. And so I'd make sure I'm trying to watch at least 75% of whatever that list is. So if it's 100 films, that means I got to watch 75 of them. If it's 2, you know what I mean? And just kind of go from there.
Do you ever get like a film critic burnout where you're like, I just can't watch no fucking movies right now?
I don't get a burnout, but the issue I have is I can't really watch films because I'm watching so many new films. So I buy DVDs all the time and Blu-rays all the time. I got like 1,000 probably Blu-rays, DVDs at the house. Yeah. And like, there's like some that I haven't even watched before, you know what I mean? And it was like my favorite movie of like 2022, and I haven't even rewatched it since I saw it in theaters, just because I'm constantly watching new films. So it's not so much getting burned out watching new stuff. I just get burnt out, and I want to be able to just like chill and watch some old stuff sometimes. You know what I mean? And so that's the burnout part that I get, because I like watching movies. It's kind of like my time to like relax and just wind down. I get home after a day of work, and I just throw on a movie or something like that just to kind of relax. Yeah. So
one of the biggest like critiques that I hear from just like not for film critics, but just like the average like movie consumer and stuff like that is that like there's nothing original coming out of like Hollywood, coming out of the Hollywood studio system and down in LA from you having to watch so many types of films. Is that that you agree that there's nothing original, or it's just that's not nothing they're putting their big bucks behind?
It's kind of twofold, because I agree. If you're looking for like a major blockbuster, it's either going to be a sequel of some sort of Disney intellectual property, which would include like the MCU and things of this nature, superheroes, things of that nature. Yeah. And that's kind of what dominates the box office for the most part. But there's a lot of really good indie stuff, you know what I mean, that comes out. If you watch the Oscars, right, most of those films were not big blockbuster films. Nora, most people hadn't seen. I saw that film, but most people hadn't seen it before it won all the awards.
What did you think of it?
I liked it. It wasn't my favorite film of the year, but it definitely was in my, top 25 or something like that. I did like it for what it was. I didn't think it was the best film of the year, but that's just my personal opinion. But I did enjoy it, and I do like that it only cost, which I know a lot of people say it's still a lot of money, but it only cost $6 million to make. But it was competing against like Dune 2, which cost like $200 million to make. And so I kind of liked that it had a chance, you know what I mean, and one being, competitive against like all these big, machines that are out there in terms of the blockbusters. So.
I think they cut it at a right time too, because we're coming out of a time where like not just like the fires, but then also the strikes and everything like that. So just the whole people try to get back into the whole mode of like doing, it's Oscar campaign season or Emmy campaign season. Just the whole entire structure of the movie studio system has been thrown off. Like this was kind of just like the perfect time for that movie to go, especially because you're talking about like with the Nora, where you talk about like sex work, sex world and stuff like that, and like with the whole Me Too movement being so big, this is really even if you talk about the problem with the movie studios now, it even goes back to the whole Me Too movement. For sure. So for it to come back, full circle now with this small indie movie.
Yeah, and kind of empowering, sex workers and things of this nature, which is something you don't necessarily see in the film.
You don't see,
So
it's
like,
we'd rather have slaves.
Right. Yeah, so it is a little bit different in that sense. So I do like that aspect of it, but I agree with some of the sentiment that like the big movies, the big blockbuster movies tend to be, sequels and Marvel films and DC films and stuff like that. And that kind of, I don't like that part about it, because it is kind of cannibalizing the film market. Yeah. And so like some movies like Anora, it didn't really play that well at the box office. I think it came out for about a week and then it immediately goes to streaming. And so my concern as a film critic is I like to be able to go to the theaters. That's why I have my festival at the IMAX. It's like, let's go to the theaters. Let's keep that trend going. You know what I mean? And so I don't necessarily dislike streaming movies, because it is nice to be able to watch the movie at home and not have to go to the theater. But I still want to be able to go to the theater.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And I don't only want to go to the theater just to see Marvel films. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that part about it, it does frustrate me.
You need like that strong economy,
Yeah.
because on the flip side to that, like Netflix puts out a lot of original, what it looks like it would be big blockbuster movies, but it's just a lot of money put into like a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And sometimes that is the case. But but Netflix, I will say, of all of them, they do have the best shot of getting a really big blockbuster. A film that could have been a block, but like Extraction with
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, I really like those films, right? But that's a film that probably could have played that could have been like his John Wick, you know?
Yeah.
But they just decided to go on Netflix, you know. So there are some good movies to go to Netflix, but you know, I wish that more would go to the box office. So like Extraction would be dope to see on the big screen, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just like straight action. Like I would love to see that on the big screen.
Yeah, it kind of takes I guess. Well, I mean, it just depends, because it's still cool to see those type. It still feels like, you know, back when you got like bootleg movies, stuff like that. It's like I shouldn't be watching this on TV right now, but I am anyways. Like,
I mean that's pretty much streaming dead. It took over like the bootleg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you can just, you know, $20 you can get a streaming service and watch these films. Or the other issue with streaming though is that films in general don't play very long at the box office.
Yeah.
So, you know, they used to have a much longer run. Now it's like it's out for, even like bigger movies. Like, you know, it'll be out for, but you know it's going to be streaming in a month. So a lot of people just say, well, why go to the theater if I can just wait 30 days and, you know, Netflix will get it or Amazon will get it or something of that nature. And maybe I'll pay $4.99 in some cases, but that's still cheaper than going to the theater.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people wait.
Yeah.
So I think that also kind of hurts the box office a little bit, because now we're in that mentality where I'll just wait a month and watch it at home.
Yeah. Which also justifies like the big time studios decision, just like whatever's going to make us money. We ain't got time to take no experimentation, none of these experimental films.
Yeah, because now, I mean, that's
we have
a
2-month window to take this movie that we've been working on for the past 6 years.
Right.
We have a 2-month window to get into the green.
Right. That's it. And that's all you got. You know what I mean? You might get lucky if it's a bigger movie and in the foreign overseas market, you might be able to get some legs over there. But by the time it gets to China, it's already streaming here. You know what I mean? So it's like they've lost that money in the U.S.
Yeah.
So
it takes too much to even get back into the green, because they got to at least make double what they put in.
Because of marketing and stuff like that. So if the film costs $150 million to make, you got to roughly figure they spent another $150 on marketing.
Yeah.
Right, because you got to have the actors go out and pitch the movies. You got to have the commercials. You got to have all the trailers, getting on TV. All that stuff costs money.
Yeah.
So,
which was another thing that I was talking about, like with the Nora movie, like how people talk about like it was a $6 million movie and stuff like that, but they put about $18 million.
Yeah.
So they knew what they was going. Yeah. They knew what they was going for. They was like, we like this movie cost $6 million to make. But to make it an Academy Award-winning movie, like, no, we put an extra $18 million in it.
Well, exactly. And they say indie, you know, and like $6 million or $18 million. It sounds like not a lot, but like I said, you talk to anybody here locally, anybody that coming to my film festival, you know what I mean?
Oh my God,
they've never had a $6 million budget.